Jai Hind. In this platform, I've been given an opportunity to speak. I'm DIG Manish Varma. I'm Chief Staff Officer Technical of Coast Guard's Eastern Seaboard Headquarters located here in Visakhapatnam. Yesterday in the evening, I was given this call by Mr. Sanjay, and he briefed me about my participation here in this Swaraksha exhibition and seminar. And I did not have any knowledge or any information about this organization, so I scanned through various sources that I had, and I could make out that this is going to be a very good beginning for a very good interaction for a seagoing community like us and the Navy and the industry which is existing in this city of destiny, Visakhapatnam. So I start my small informative speech about Indian Coast Guard. Indian Coast Guard was established in 1977, and it came into formal existence by a Parliament Act, Coast Guard Act, which was passed by Indian Parliament in August 1978. So we are here in the service of nations since last 48 years, and we are going to complete our Golden Jubilee in another 2 years. We started with 2 ships seconded by Indian Navy in 1977, and now we are a fleet of 172 ships and 78 aircrafts. By the year 2030, we would be 200 ships and 100 aircrafts. It's a big fleet. It's a big opportunity for industries to notice for 2 reasons. Number one, we are not having any repair infrastructure of our own. We do not have any captive capacity to maintain or to look after our ships. We are open to industry. We are a very big business development option for this industry and for this August gathering. I, as an engineer with around 33 years behind me in this service, I have seen this service grow. I have seen this fleet grow from just 40 ships to 172 ships. When there were 40 ships in Indian Coast Guard, we hardly had any technical infrastructure, and neither we required any, because our ships could be maintained very easily by the defense public sector undertakings like MDL, GSL, GRSE, HSL here, and few private industry partners who were there. And there was an ecosystem existing in those days wherein the foreign equipment manufacturers had their agencies installed in the country, and their representatives would come and do the repair works on board our ships and make the ships operational. The demand of Indian Coast Guard was also not much in those days. We did not insist too much on endurance, range, speed, and we were not very much conscious about various things which were happening in the maritime sector. The military standards were not really applicable to us. Over a period of time, like since 1990 and in the early 2000s, the consciousness, awareness, and the requirements of the service started growing up. We realized that we are a growing force. The threats from the seaward side are increasing. We require ships of modern capabilities. We require ships of higher range, higher caliber, higher capacity, and higher speed, so that the aggressors and the anti-national elements who are coming from the seaward side are not having an edge over us. Now, with this change in the environment, change in the conditions, the shipbuilding of Indian Coast Guard also started improving. And we started giving our specifications which were close to military standards and which were having all elements of international quality standards. With this, the Indian shipbuilding yards had to improvise their capabilities. The Indian trade had to upgrade themselves, and they had to come up with solutions which were very much relevant to the requirements of growing Coast Guard. Now, under this situation, now when I stand, after having done too many different kinds of assignments in the Coast Guard, and having seen the Indian trade and Indian industry, particularly oriented towards maritime industry, I feel that the current thrust of the Government of India on Make in India, indigenization, is actually going to make us very strong in time to come, provided we rise up to the challenge of the demands of the customer like us and become capable to provide that service up to that standard and up to that scale. In about 5 years ago, we were writing specifications of OPVs, and they were called new generation OPVs. Now I'm still calling it new generation OPVs because the nomenclature has been made NG OPVs. Now, till what time or to what extent this new generation OPV will be new generation, that only time will tell. But the generation is changing very fast. And the technology upgradation in the maritime sector is very demanding. In such situation, our focus has to be in tandem with the technological upgradation required in the industry, and with the indigenization efforts of the Government of India and the foreign industry, foreign manufacturers focusing their upgradation very fast, and to compete with that upgraded foreign technology and the indigenization already pacing up in India, our challenges are multiple. And the Indian industry in India, particularly related to maritime sector, has to really work very hard. Now, I give you many examples. In all industries, in all manufacturing industries in any country, the basic components, basic equipment which are used, like compressors, pumps, a prime mover, a power generator, maybe a specific requirement like spinning industry or textile industry or any industry you name it, they will have a specific equipment pertaining to that industry. But the ancillary of that particular equipment will be same. Like there will be pumps, there will be compressor, there will be air reservoir, there will be some kind of power generation. Similarly, in the seagoing industry, like in the ships, we also have the same kind of equipment. And those equipment are very much common and very much commonly manufactured by any industry in India. So I don't think that it is very difficult to participate in any business avenue which is generated in the ships of Indian Coast Guard. When we go for refits or repairs, our dry docking is a very big challenge. It's a very primitive activity, and in the last 20, 30 years, I have seen that the docking of the ship involves the graving shipyard, graving dock, the slipway, the ship lift system. Now, the graving dock and the slipways are very much indigenized. There is nothing imported or there's nothing foreign component in it. But the moment it becomes ship lift system, it's a complete hydraulics. And there are 2 or 3 players in the ship lift system which are making ship lift dry docking facilities for the shipyards in India. Now that is a very potential avenue because it's nothing but hydraulics. It's nothing but servo control valves and servo control mechanism, which I think Indian industries are very capable of manufacturing. But I'm really very sorry to say, not even a single venture has come forward to carry out any kind of development in the ship lift technology. There are IC engines which are required on board ship, where the propulsion system require a main engine, and that main engine is of 6 kilowatt, 6 megawatt or 8 megawatt or 10 megawatt capacity. With that capacity, the IC engine industry in Germany, in America, in Canada, or in other developed nations. They are supplying engines to India and to many other countries all over the world. And we have been taking it, and we have not been able to develop an engine of 6 to 10 megawatt capacity. It has been a big surprise. So, I mean, that is one area wherein Indian industry can take a foot forward in developing, and that is not a technology, it is basically a metallurgy. You have to make a block, you have to make a good quality cylinder head, you have to make a good quality internal component, and you have to make a good quality crankshaft, which is the heart of the engine. Now, those kind of things can very well be undertaken by the Indian industry with the expertise available, with the technology available. It is only understanding the requirement of the customer and making that particular component so strong, so rugged, so capable that it can develop that kind of power. And once it starts rolling, then sky is the limit. You can develop that technology, develop that particular equipment, sell it to Indian industries, and then become global, because the demand is too much. So, I mean, in my opinion, the impetus of indigenization is not simply to become an Indian supplier and only to meet the Indian demands. The demand to become, the thrust on indigenization is basically to become so capable that you become a global supplier. Explore all the markets that are available around the world. Actually, I have not prepared any speech. I have not made any notes on what to say about Indian Coast Guard. However, in the time to come, in the coming 2 days, when there will be interactions, I'm available, I'm open, and I can answer to many questions, many queries about the possibilities of exploring businesses with Indian Coast Guard, and through the subsystems of the country, that we can be beneficial to each other in a conducive manner. And I must thank the organizers of this Swaraksha. In fact, Swaraksha is very synonymous to the motto of Indian Coast Guard, that is Vayam Rakshamaha. So, jaise we protect, we say that we protect. Same way, Swaraksha should also be a protector of Indian industry and a very big platform for developing or giving chance or giving opportunity to the industry available here in Visakhapatnam. I congratulate the organizers and I thank them once again. Thank you very much. Yeah.